everyone. Another functionality that has been commercialized that we want to give everybody an overview of. So maxOPT. What is maxOPT? So what maxOPT is it calculates the hydraulic maximum for a liquid pipeline at any given point in time, in real time, and then sends what is required to achieve that hydraulic maximum to PipeBot, which executes along the length of the pipeline. That's overall what it is. Folks who are familiar with, oil pipelines operations or liquid pipelines operations, they'll know that everybody's looking for that hydraulic maximum. Your hydraulic engineers, they'll simulate loads of scenarios with different batch lineups. You're really familiar with your elevation profile to be able to achieve it. So that's what maxOPT is, and we'll go into in a minute how it actually does that. But let's talk first about why create this. What is the pains that control room operators, midstream companies, companies that have refineries, oil and gas companies in general, are feeling that would result in the need of a product like this? So those are fun. As a control room operator, having been in that hot seat, the actual hydraulic maximum of a pipeline changes in real time, like every few seconds, right? It's a function of the elevation profile, so you're going up hills, you're going down hills, as well as the batch lineup in the system. So you have heavies, lights, sours, sweets. As all of that is moving, in time to be able to deliver from point A to point B, but because of that, the energy required and what the available capacity is on the pipeline to achieve those max rates actually changes over time, in real time. And as a control room operator, you know theoretically what the hydraulic maximum is. Your scheduling team has told you that you have to reach a certain rate. Well, what you'll find is sometimes you'll be over that rate, sometimes you'll be under that rate. And that lack of consistency is a problem when it comes to supply chain optimization and folks really having good insight to what is the actual capacity of your pipeline that you can sell, right? So in terms of that and what is the capacity can be sold, so in terms of those pains and those problems, what that means for midstream operating companies and integrated companies who have refineries, or if you own the product, is you're actually leaving money on the table. So because you're not able to achieve actual hydraulic max at all times, you're only able to sell, say, 80 or 90% of your pipeline capacity reliably. And if you're only selling that much reliably, and that's 100% of your contracts, you're actually leaving money on the table and you may not even be aware of it at all. So those are the pains. On to the gains. So this functionality in combination with PipeBot, super valuable for control room operators because they know that they're achieving that hydraulic maximum all the time consistently. They're not trying to figure it out. They're not hoping that they did it. They're actually always getting it. And over time, what that will do, and that may be a very short period of time when you calculate what that additional volumetric throughput is, commercial teams are able to then sell that volume as super high margin revenue, which, if you're a shareholder of a midstream company, that's actually very impactful to you as an individual, right? So it's something that in terms of business operation, there's a very large opportunity here. Imagine as well on the refinery side, right? So we talked about refining and how that's a pain because you don't have a lot of confidence or you don't really know if you can increase rates. So imagine you have a refinery and it has capacity, it can take more volume. You have a pipeline feeding that refinery, and to you it's, you think it's apportioned, prorated, meaning there's an opportunity to move more volume, but you're only scheduling at, say, a max rate of 1,000 barrels an hour because you're not aware that there's actually 1,100 barrels an hour there, right? So as soon as you're aware that it's there, you can then sell that volume, and that volume is tolls on the pipeline as well as refinery sales. So massive, massive opportunity for really high margin revenue here when the market is right. Why is maxOPT better than the status quo? The status quo being, a person doing their best, trying to achieve that max rate. They don't even really know where it is. They're kind of like, trying to chase something in the dark. And so they're trying to get it and they don't even have any visibility into what they're trying to achieve in real time, right? So giving people that availability, giving control room operators that tool creates that consistency in operation to create predictable uplift in what that additional capacity is. Also, why is that better than the status quo in terms of commercial teams and oil scheduling and refineries? You've created this additional capacity that you didn't even know was there. So in terms of your tolling and how you underpin projects from a CapEx standpoint for pipelines and refineries, you work that into like a 30-year payback, right? But if you're able to get 1, 2, 3, 5, 7% more on that pipeline into that refinery and you can capitalize on it, that is substantial high margin revenue that impacts the bottom line of these organizations and that share price, of course, something we love. So, those consistent operations are just awesome. We'll just say that. Features. What are the feature list that enables this awesome magical software that is constantly getting you max rate, which I know is very important on a very large number of pipelines in especially North America right now, because we have a whole bunch of at capacity pipelines. Those features are PipeBot, seamless integration. It's just, it talks right to PipeBot and tells it what to do. It's fantastic. Fully autonomous. Control room operators don't have to intervene. It's just like PipeBot manages batch transitions. maxOPT manages that hydraulic max, keeps driving to it. Control room operators do not have to intervene. This is a tool for them. It also monitors and calculates and executes every 10 seconds. Historical data has shown us that control room operators typically will intervene in pipeline operation about every 10 minutes. So even if they are maintaining that max rate, any little dips in flow rate between those 10-minute intervals is money on the table when you're talking in a portion pipeline with capacity at that refinery. So something that feature is definitely capitalizing on with its ability to keep executing. Also, of course, safety limits. maxOPT stays well within all the safety limits. We've talked in some other videos about the architecture of where PipeBot sits, and maxOPT is the same outside of the SCADA system so that it's not possible to interfere or override those critical safety constraints. Super important. Also, for those who are familiar with optimization algorithms, really what maxOPT is doing is it's calculating that global maximum and distributing it across the whole pipeline system to achieve those max rates over time. So, we're gonna keep going for that global maximum, which is something in your head you kind of can't really compute every 10 seconds. It just doesn't really work, right? Despite, we try. I'm sure there's some people who can, but not me. So finally, use cases, right? I want to go back up to those pains and gains with the use cases. It is about that refinery and that pipeline capacity, and by enabling your control room operator to repeatably hit hydraulic max within safety constraints, you are enabling the capture of that additional volume above and beyond your current contracted rates. And if you've got capacity on that refinery, that is a lot of high margin revenue for our fantastic clients. And to say again, if you work at a midstream company, that's the stuff that benefits everybody from that perspective. So really, really high value opportunities on those pipelines that are constrained or apportioned. When folks say, oh, we meet 100% of our contracts, that's great. But there's more, and maxOPT can get it for you. So please comment below. Would love to chat about strategies in control rooms without maxOPT to achieve consistent hydraulic max, how folks are thinking on the commercial side about those contracts, and if there is uplift, would love to chat more and learn about that. So please comment below, like and subscribe, of course, and then come check us out on LinkedIn.